Good morning, year 11 students. I wish you're safe. So today we're talking about informal email writing. Uh, we've done it before, but we need to keep practicing for our external exams and also um, our final exams. So let's just start talking about informal emails. The objective of this lesson is to It's for writing, of course. So to point out the elements of an informal email accurately and write an informal email with the correct elements. But before we start, I'd like to ask you a question. So, what are the characteristics of informal style of writing? So if you're going to write an informal task, what are the characteristics that you're going to focus on when you write this task? What do you need to add? What do you need to avoid using? What do you need to use in your writing? Yes. Mhm. Yeah. I expect actually your answer, which is for informal style of writing, we need to use short forms instead of full forms. So instead of saying I have, you can say I've. You need also to use figurative language, idioms, some linking words and phrases like but or and. You don't need to use complex or compound complex sentences and formal language. Okay. So this is for the informal style. Either it's an email or whatever the task you're writing, this is what you need to follow. You can express your feelings, you can use the pronoun I, you can talk in a chatty, personal language, which is not formal. But when we talk about an email, so let's have a look at this model of an email. This is an example of an email. So what can you notice here? How do we start? How many paragraphs? What do we cover in each paragraph? How do we start each paragraph? And the conclusion. Could you please have a look and do quick reading for this email? And look also at the style of language. Yes, so how do we start? We start by informal greeting, like dear, and you mention the name of the person. You might write an informal email to your friend, to your brother, one of your family members. So he's a person you know. It's not a formal relationship. He's not your manager. He's not your school teacher or whatever. So you're writing to person you know well. So you just to start by saying dear or hi or hello and mention the name directly without Mr. or Miss, comma. Then you go down, you start your introduction. If you look at the introductory paragraph here, you'll find that in the introduction of an email, we need two parts. Firstly, we need to start with an opening remarks. Opening remarks like this. Sorry it's taken me so long to write, but I've been swamped with my final. So here you need to break the ice with the person. You don't start directly by telling him what you want or what the reason for calling or what the reason for messaging or sending an email. So you just start like that. Sorry, it's taking me so long to write, but I've been swamped with my finals. And I'm gonna attach many opening remarks that you might use, or you might make your own. Then you need the transition. Like anyway, anyway here is transition. You're shifting to the reason for writing. Why are you writing this email? So anyway, I thought I'd drop you a line to tell you about an amazing experience I had this weekend. So this is the reason for writing this email. You want to talk about an amazing experience you had this weekend, and you want to talk about it. So again, the introduction, we need two parts. You need opening remarks, then transition to the reason for writing. If you look at the language here, you'll find short forms. Swam with my final is this is what's an idiom, means that you're busy doing it. Drop you a line. So look at the language here. Okay, you're expressing your feeling here. Okay, talking about yourself. Then you need to move to the main body paragraphs. What do we write exactly in the main body paragraphs? In the prompt, in the question, so you will find three bullet points that you need to cover. You might cover them in two or three paragraphs, it's up to you, but not in one paragraph, at least two paragraphs. So here he started talking about the amazing experience that he's talking about. So 2 weeks ago, I heard that a huge marathon was going to be held in our city. One of my friends, John, suggested that I should try and run the marathon, on which would help me lose weight. I thought about the idea and I immediately decided to go for it. You know me, the adventurous type. As I explained it before to you in the classes, you know me is a kind of wit. Yeah, I can hear you, by the way. This is personalization. One of the features of writing an informal email is to use personalization in your language. Like, you know me, I know that you like this thing. I know that you're a sporty type, so I booked 2 tickets for the match. So this is called personalization. If I find personalization in your writing, so it shows that you understand the informal style well. So here he used personalization. Then he continues another paragraph. I joined the race, and although I didn't win, I think I did great as I came before a lot of other runners. The moment I crossed the finish line, I felt that I have overcome my fear of not finishing the marathon. Right? Many of my friends were cheering for me and were walking on air. Walking on air. This is figurative language. That I managed to run continuously through the entire race. That day was probably the proudest day of my life so far. Now, look at the final paragraph. Now that I told you all about the greatest moment I experienced so far, I really have to go. Take good care of yourself and promise to write back soon. Best wishes, Willie. So here you do something called closing remarks. So we started with opening remarks and we finish with closing remarks and final informal ending, like best wishes. You cannot write sincerely or kind regards or whatever. This is formal for formal emails. You don't have formal emails, you have only informal. So we use best wishes, Willie, and you write your name, whatever. So this is the model of how to write an informal email. Now, let's have a look at this model. We need to point out the elements of an informal email. So you need to tell me uh, in your groups, okay, where is the informal greeting, the introduction, the opening remarks, and the reason for writing? Where's the main body? What is the conclusion, the closing remarks, with the ending? Let's analyze it together. I'll give you 2 minutes to have a look at this, and let's analyze it together and apply what we've learned in the previous one. Okay, so where is the introduction? Yes, this is the introduction. Um, Okay, where's the opening remarks? Yes, this one is the opening remark. Where is the transition? Anyway, where is the purpose or the reason for writing? This one. We started with greeting or formal greeting as well. Where is the main body paragraph? Or two main body paragraphs here. Where is the concluding paragraph? This one. It has also closing remarks like take good care of yourself. The conclusion here. Okay, and the informal ending. Let's look at the language. Short forms like it's, I've, and but. But here is what? Is an informal linking. You know me is personalization. Didn't informal. Walk in on air, figurative language. Okay. Let's have a look at a model, how it comes in the exam, this question. But before I show you the question, I will ask you two related questions to the task that I'm going to show you. Um, do you have any kind of marathons in Bahrain? What types of marathons? I saw marathons, by the way, in Bahrain, especially Friday mornings, the highway to Manama. Um, I wish I could have participated, but I didn't book for it. So, what is the importance of sports for countries? Do you think sports is important for countries or not? Of course, it's important for many reasons. I want you to think of it. Okay, actually, this is related to our question here. Look at the photos, the pictures here. I think that, can you guess what can you see in the pictures? A team of friends, school students holding their bags, maybe. Maybe they're going for a trip, maybe. I don't know. So let's have a look at the question. You recently, this is the question, and this is how it comes to in the exam, by the way. You recently joined a nature club. Nature club, maybe a club focusing on nature and traveling to the desert, to the jungles, to some natural places like in the sea, near the beaches, whatever. And last week you went on a trip with the club into the countryside. I'm still in there, the meaning of countryside. Countryside, like the fields and places with crops and stuff like that. So write an email to your friends about this. In your email, you need to cover these points. So these points will be covered in your main body paragraphs. And in your introduction, you will write this purpose. Okay? You should write an email about it. So the picture gives you an idea about it. So it says, write an email about this, about your visit to the countryside. So you need to tell them about this experience. This is how the question comes in the exam. If you want to write an informal letter, let me revise again or summarize what I mentioned from the beginning. You need an informal greeting. You need an introduction in which you write your opening remarks and mention your reason for writing. These are examples of opening remarks, like, sorry, it's taken me so ages to write back, but I've been swamped with my finance, or I've been busy settling in my new house, or I've been rehearsing for the school play, whatever. Uh, you need to write a main body paragraph. Okay, you need to write a conclusion with closing remarks. Like, that's all my news for now. Write back soon. Keep in touch. Make sure you write soon. Drop me a line soon if you have time. And you need to write an informal ending like lots of love, best wishes, and you write your first name. Love, Russia, for example. So that's all my lesson for now. I will attach Google form so you can write an email, okay, an informal email upon the explanation that I explained now and submit it as an assignment. Thank you, everyone. Take care.